The average person spends 92,120 hours in work during their lifetime. That's about 2,000 hours a year. I'm not sure where the jazz hands came from there, but anyway, it's about 2,000 hours a year. Do you really want to spend that much time unhappy? I didn't think so. Let's chat about what it takes to be happy at work. Let's get started. Hi, this is Simon Phillips, and this week's episode is all about how to be happy at work, because those 92,000 hours I mentioned can make up somewhere between 1/5 and 1/2 of our usable time on this planet. It just makes sense to be as happy as we possibly can be whilst we're doing that. But I'm going to break that down for you because there are 4 elements that go into making work enjoyable, making it a happy place to be. So I'm going to discuss those 4 elements with you, and I'm also going to share with you a get out of jail free card. If you love Monopoly, you'll know what I'm talking about. A get out of jail free card is when you land in that space that you just don't want to be. And it's a case of, I just want to get out of here. But it's not always possible, is it? But with a get out of jail free card, we can transform any day. So stick around and I'll share that with you later. In the meantime, before you do anything to make me happy in my work, just give me a like or share or something that helps the algorithms work and brings more people to our message here, because my mission is to help people transform the lives of others and help people with the dramatic changes that are happening in their lives. So the more people that see and hear this message, the better. So I promised you 4 ways that we're going to break this down and build our happiness in work. Those 4 ways are enjoyment, fulfillment, contentment, and efficient. Those 4 ways will enable you to be happy at work. So let's break those down individually and get a sense of what it is I need to be doing on a daily basis to ensure that I'm happy at work. So the first one then is enjoyment. What's that about? I've got a quote for you. This one came off a card. Happiness is working with great people. And you know, a big part of the happiness that we feel in our work is when we get to work with great people. If we can bounce ideas off, have a laugh, talk about what's gone on overnight or over the weekend, we get that banter going. The majority of people that enjoy working with others, that enjoy working with the people that they have around them in the workplace, are happy at work. That's what the stats say. Now, we're not talking about these people being your friends in every area of your life. Some people get by just on having really good friends at work. People who are in a professional sense are always there for them, have always got their back, but they're also light-hearted and can enjoy being in each other's company. But one word of warning, this sort of feelings-based approach to enjoying ourselves and having a happy time at work can be fleeting. And if we attach that to one individual, for example, and they decide to move on in their career, all of a sudden we are left feeling like work is an unhappy place. And it doesn't have to be. But if we attach our emotions to an individual or the specific people that we're working with at any one time, it robs us of the opportunity to gather happiness in other ways. And as a result, when they leave, we can feel miserable. We can feel like it's been undermined. So it's useful, but it's not necessarily everything. Let's find another way of being happy at work. So the second way you can be happy at work is to find fulfillment. I've got another quote for you. If you're not happy at work, you're a slave. I think that might be a little bit harsh. I also think that that could be easily misunderstood. It's not that the people who employ us are enslaving us, but we may be slaves to our minds, slaves to our thoughts that make us feel like if we're unhappy at work, that we have to stay there and that is the only option available to us. That's an enslaved thought process. The reality is we've always got a choice, and I'll come back to that later. But roughly about 10% of the population are looking for fulfillment at work. That's not very easy to say, I can tell you. Fulfillment at work. So if that's you, then you know what I'm talking about here. When our work matches our values, we feel fulfilled. So for example, if I value looking after people and caring for people, then if my job correlates to that, I'm going to feel fulfilled during those working hours. So fulfillment can be really important when it comes to feeling happy in our work. So let's get on with the third one. The third one is about contentment. Everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it. That's a quote from Andy Rooney. And for me, this brings us neatly around to the third one, which is contentment. When are we content? We're content when we're feeling on a regular basis that we're growing. However, don't look to others to help you grow. Take personal responsibility and decide for yourself, what do I want to learn here? What do I want to get out of this next project, this next activity? If you take personal responsibility, you'll find that opportunities open up for you and your growth will be secured. A quick way of doing this is ensuring on your regular reviews with your managers and your peers that there are opportunities for you to grow in your role. So just by completing the tasks that are ahead of you, fulfilling those jobs that people are requesting you do, is there a growth opportunity in there? If there isn't, can you volunteer for something else? Is there something going on in the workplace that doesn't currently have somebody who's chomping at the bit to make it happen? If there is, you can volunteer for that. And especially if it's going to give you an opportunity to grow either your skills or your mindset, whatever it is, if there's an opportunity to grow, snap somebody's hand off and volunteer. Okay, let's have a look at the fourth one. The fourth one is it efficient? And let me explain what that means. You'll love this little quote that I picked up. You're somewhat useful at work, but irreplaceable at happy hour. I know a few people like that. What I mean by efficient is we tend to be relatively happy at work if we see it as a trade-off. I'm going to get a good return on my investment of time through the resources that come back to me for that in that trade. So effectively, I'm trading my time for money, but I feel like I'm getting enough money, then that's efficient. And this approach works really well for those people who see work as just a mechanism for funding the other elements of their life. Now, I know a lot of people in the entrepreneurial space who, for them, work is life and they get that fulfillment automatically. But if that's not you, then being happy at work requires an efficient trade of time for money. So a quick evaluation is, am I getting sufficient return on my investment? And if I'm not, I can look elsewhere. So there you go. There are the 4 elements that will enable you to feel happy at work. But remember, we always have a choice. You'll recognize this in some of the things that I say. I'm always coming back to this element of free choice. Sometimes it can feel like we don't have a choice if we have a very high level of income that we don't feel we could replace easily, or we work with just the most amazing people and we don't feel that there's another group out there that could replace them. The reality is you don't have to replace people because those people will always be in your life if you choose to keep them in your life. So you can always find other people to work with. You can always find other ways of balancing out income and time that will suit you better. But here's that get out of jail free card I talked about. If you are unhappy at the end of any day, you can always increase your happiness by seeking out somebody else that you can cheer up. The physical act, the engaging act of helping somebody else feel a little bit happier will automatically cheer you up too. So if you finish any day feeling a little bit down, Just look around for somebody else who also may feel a bit down and cheer them up. Now, please don't do this too many days in a row. Obviously, every day you can look to cheer somebody else up. But what I mean is, don't leave work feeling unhappy too many days in a row. If you do, look at it as a sign. What do I need to change? Do I need to change my job? Do I need to change my colleagues? Do I need to change the work that I'm doing, the specific activities whilst I'm at work? Whatever it is, you can change it. Okay, hope that's been useful. Leave me a comment with your favorite tip, and I'll look forward to being back here again next week. Take care.